So, Israel, I found something in the newspaper that I thought is important. It's called, there was an article, right, that I wanted to share with you. It's called, it's a type of abuse. Okay, let me read you the article. In Israel, there are 200,000 women who are victims of violence, and that is only the reported number. The World Health Association thinks that the real number is 4 times as many. So Tamar Schwartz, she's the head of this association, the Spirit of Women, who tries to fight violence against women, especially the silent violence against women. What is a silent violence? Well, it's violence that doesn't leave marks. Women don't complain at the police. Women, sort of violence whose goal is to demonstrate dominance and prevention of independent life from women. That they cannot leave the house because they don't have money for bus or gasoline for the car, because they don't have money in the bank. Not because of that, because all the activities, the financial activities, are controlled by one side. 99% in those cases, it's the man. The last years, there's more awareness of the term economic abuse, economic violence. Economic abuse is using money and resources as a sanction, as a threat, or as a way to control the spouse. In most cases, it's a man using violence towards a woman. It's also preventing information about the financial situation of the partner. And only one person, only one side, one of the pairs, one spouse, is making financial decisions about investments, insurance, and so on. Especially when the other side wants to be involved, it's not possible. So a person refuses that his wife has a checking account or credit card and demands that she only uses cash in small amounts that he gives her for expenses that he defines. Or that the woman has to report every expense, even a small one. Threatened that if she doesn't do that, the partner who pays the bills and does the shopping will not pay for basic necessities for the children. Add to it hiding resources from the partner, even hiding them or smuggling them, different sort of combinations that are, the goal is to hide the real financial situation and forcing the partner to give up control over property and general things like preventing education or professional training from the woman, that she will be completely under the economic control of the man, preventing her to go to work, or when she works, interfering in her getting ahead, bothering her in her workplace, and so on. Of course, not all of these take place. Yeah, these are some of this is a description of the different ways this economic abuse takes place. Not all of them at the same time, of course. Women also sometimes have a difficult time to identify economic abuse. And too many times, economic abuse is at the end of the list after physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. Many women don't see themselves as suffering from abuse when it's not physical. The economic abuse is actually the most useful tool to abuse a human being and control them, because money is a force and control in which you can control all the different fields of life, says the head of this association. It's not only refusing to buy luxury items. In one case, a man refused a woman buy medicine for the child because he said her expenses are not rational. It's not that he's a stingy person. It doesn't have anything to do with the financial situation of the couple. It's not a situation where they have to save every dime because it's low income. Sometimes it's very wealthy people who control their partners this way. What's in common with these cases of economic violence is the need to absolutely control. The husband absolutely controls everything the wife does. It's continual. It's a sort of abuse. The economic abuse can take place in a relationship towards separation and after separation as well. So there's a new law initiative that will define violence. Economic violence as a type of violence against domestic violence, and this law is already 2 years, and somehow it doesn't have a high priority, even though in November is actually International Violence Against Women Month. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So very interesting time. November is International Violence Against Women Day. So the survey says 500 people were questioned if you know of economic abuse or know someone in your family who suffers from it. The second one described this behavior of economic abuse and asked if you know somebody who suffers from it. Not surprisingly, most of the public, 84%, don't even know that, don't know anyone who suffers from it. But when it comes to describing the behavior, almost 40% all of a sudden, they know someone who suffers from those behavior. The survey says what we always claim, says the woman who's in charge of this association. The term is not familiar, but this behavior is unfortunately quite common. And this is an internet survey, so people who have a computer, stronger population. It's interesting, if this survey was done by telephone, probably this woman predicts the numbers would be much higher. I want to share a story of a case where a woman marries a foreigner. She moves to his country, and of course he has control over everything. He's the breadwinner, he earns the money, and he gives her, every time, like a child, he gives her money to buy things, while he has full control over everything. When she chooses to separate from him, it's difficult because she doesn't have access to her own money. Then she has to go to the court of law, and he's forced to pay her. And if he doesn't pay her, in this country they make sure that he does pay because there are children involved. And he tries to avoid paying for everything. It's very difficult when you're used to somebody paying for everything to all of a sudden pay the bills and be financially responsible. And to add to that, I think it's a situation that's probably familiar to this person, because usually comes from, these women usually come from a background of a family where this takes place, where this is how they're raised, that they have to ask for every bit of money. The financial information is not shared. There are secrets in the family, financial secrets, and then usually at the time when there's money involved in the family, someone dies, leaves an inheritance, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose, and this person who is not aware of the financial situation has zero chance of getting anything that they're entitled to by law, because the other siblings or people involved have already cashed in and already taken the money and abused this person. This is absolutely economical abuse as well. So yes, it can happen to men as well, but it's mostly women because it has to do with the power structure in society. So anyway, I hope more people will be aware and get the help they need. Peace, light, and love. And I hope I can turn this out. Peace, light, and love, and take care of yourself. And independence is the key to sanity.